is FearCast.
All right,
so twittered this.
You just twittered this. That's fantastic. We don't even get an intro. I twittered this. Here, I'll do it too. Everybody, get your phones out.
Use Twitter.
That's right. I use it to update my Facebook page. It's easier to do from a phone.
So then you have both of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you just put your phone
You
away.
should follow him.
You should follow me.
I am like one of the 3 people that are following.
Wait. Which one? The FearCast one or the me one?
I think the FearCast.
Okay, yeah, like 3 people follow.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should start this interview. This is live with FearCast at fearcast.net. And sitting over there, way over there is Monster. There's like a little wave. I don't know. Whatever. What was that?
That was the NWO.
Yeah, it
Can you
was.
smell what the Rock is cooking?
Yeah, type of thing.
Yeah, we watched wrestling as a child. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, FearCast at fearcast.net. We've been drinking. Naughty. So, yeah, we're sitting here with a couple of filmmaker guys. Introduce yourselves real quick once more. This time for reals.
For realsies.
Not for fakes.
Not for fakes. My name is Blake Fitzpatrick. I am a screenwriter and filmmaker.
And my name is film star, indie icon Ford Austin, beer drinker, and this is Dahmer versus Gacy month.
All right.
Nice.
What you don't know, a little behind the scenes for you, he was practicing that repeatedly. Oh my God! Shut up.
What? That was our first car.
Wow!
Are we going to get to do this?
So you know, I threw that off of camera, and it was like ninja caught. We're getting better by the second. So Dahmer versus Gacy.
Dahmer versus Gacy, and Dahmer versus Gacy month. The entire month of October.
The entire month.
Yeah.
And then in November it's over.
November it's done.
Yeah, never to be seen
That's
again.
it. I go to rehab on November 1st. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to rehab.
November
Thanks for
2nd.
killing the show.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little serious there for a second.
Yeah, I gotta make it through the holidays somehow.
So what is, other than the obvious, what is Dahmer versus Gacy all about? I've been seeing the posters everywhere.
Well, okay, so Dahmer versus Gacy, written by Andrew Rausch, based on an idea by Chris Watson, who's both very prolific writers in their own right.
Right.
It is about a secret government organization that is cloning serial killers so that they can splice their DNA together into one super serial killer that then they can send off to Afghanistan to fight the war for us. Until...
That sounds like a terrible idea. Therefore, totally plausible.
And until there's an explosion in the cloning facility one day and Jeffrey Dahmer, famous for killing 17 people and eating them, and John Wayne Gacy, famous for dressing up as a Pogo the Clown, at kids' parties and killing 33 people, bring him out for parties out of his floorboards, and they get loose and they start cutting a swath of death across the United States.
Does he have any of his paintings in the movie?
It does not. You know what?
Sad clowns.
Well, in the sequel, we're going to have to do that because the sequel is Dahmer versus Gacy 2D in space.
Oh wow!
Awesome.
And so the movie follows those 2 serial killers, and it also follows the media frenzy that starts to build and surround as people start celebrating the serial killers.
So almost a natural born killers type thing.
Exactly, and then they get a fan base. The fan base that we represent in the film is comprised of Katie Lohman, who was Miss April 2001, Alana Curry, who was in Terminator 3 and Revamped, and Jamie Carson. And the 3 of them, they just worship the serial killers, and it sort of builds there. So at that moment you have the media frenzy and the people who are getting excited by it, and then you get to watch these guys kill a lot of people.
I'm having visions of like Facebook pages and the Twittering and all that.
Oh yeah,
being a part of that fan base.
Speaking of fan base, I was very specific in how I cast the movie because I wanted to cast actors that had their own built-in fan base, so it could really help me to get the movie out there even more. So I cast Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And he plays a guy that Jeffrey Dahmer picks up in a bar when he's giving head for coke. Takes him back.
Sounds like Steve Adler.
It's a memorable scene.
And
where's Corey Adler when we need him? He would be all over us.
And what's funny is when we were filming that scene, Steven was like, "Hey, I've been there before." All right. He's great, and he's great in it. I mean, he really blows people away.
Oh,
I'm
glad you said away.
Then we've got Jerry Marin, the lollipop kid from the original Wizard of Oz. He actually fights John Wayne Gacy.
Wow.
Well, like the we represent.
Yeah.
Lollipop. That guy?
Yeah.
He's still alive too.
He's 91, and
It's amazing.
he's a badass in the movie.
So's Randall.
Randall Malone,
Randall.
film star Randall Malone,
That's right.
plays John Wayne Gacy, and it really is the role he was. I mean, it's
He's
the
been
role
doing
of his
it for
lifetime.
like 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, and he is incredible in it.
So,
And I play Dahmer.
You play Dahmer. I was having this thought the whole time. I have this vision of like sort of like a meter, like a gauge or a dial, and you get into certain movies that just start. It's like, wow, you said the 2D in space and all of these really cheesy things, and somewhere it's like, okay, this is a bad movie, and then it spins around. Oh, suddenly it's a great movie. I think your dial has spun like 3 or 4 times before it landed on great movie here.
Yeah,
that is
incredible.
amazing. You're just loading it in there.
Yeah, then we also got Harland Williams, who's from Dumb and Dumber, and There's
Yeah.
Something About Mary. He actually plays the half-baked.
Half-Baked,
Come on.
yeah.
You gotta get me out of here, come on! And he's, he plays the voice of God as this insane hick war veteran is he's being told by God that he has to go and clean the serial killers off the planet. So he's actually driving in his truck trying to find them and winds up fighting some ninjas because of course we got to keep spinning this thing beyond just 3 times.
She's
Right?
a ninja.
Yeah.
Are there Nazis? Do you have Nazis?
In the sequel,
Okay.
they clone Hitler.
And pirates.
Wait, zombie Nazis. That is the latest rage for video games.
Oh, I made a
Nazi
movie just recently called
Really?
A Chance in Hell about Nazi zombies,
See,
directed
there we
by
go.
Tony Wash, the amazing Chicago-based filmmaker.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, Dahmer versus Gacy is it's a really fun, absurdist comedy, and you get to watch people get killed and slashed, raped,
And you as a redneck getting drunk and you're
I run around in my underwear with a bottle of Jack and a shotgun.
So a lot of method acting there.
Yeah, I am. That's what the crew told me too. But I grew a beard for like 6 months and just went nuts.
That's terrible.
It was terrible. Find food in it like days after eating it.
bird shit, you know. All
Found a
that
gummy
stuff.
bear here
A
once.
gummy bear.
It was kind of awesome.
So,
Then you can eat it, see? So you have surprise.
Yeah,
I like it, you know. Good winner, really.
But yeah, so you know, we've really been getting a great response from audiences too. Like we premiered it last year at the AOF festival in, which is known as the Action on Film Festival, where we may have met.
No, we met at Bear Bones where you premiered Dahmer vs. Gacy.
Oh,
which
and
was
you
before
premiered
Death of Hollywood. Yeah.
The Death of Hollywood,
That's right.
which you won an award for.
I did, Best Dramedy, and then you guys got the audience award for...
dramedy.
Yeah, we won the
Source
audience
of it.
award there.
Yeah.
Like fans love it. People love it.
Yeah.
Comedy.
And you know, we got Ethan Phillips from Star Trek Voyager. He played
Yeah,
Neelix.
Neelix.
He plays the super serial killer clone. And oh my god,
Super serial killer clone.
he's the
You can say
DNA
that.
of all serial killers: Manson, Ted Bundy, Ed Gein, Dahmer, Gacy, Berkowitz, Zodiac Killer, BTK
Sub-Sam,
Killer,
yeah.
Green River Killer, the DC Sniper.
Want to help us out, guys, anymore? Not that we're fans of serial killers or anything.
Basically, every movie Uli Lamel ever made for Lionsgate. There
It
you
doesn't
go.
suck.
Right, yeah.
Oh!
And it's really really fun. And I hope somebody gets to come out tonight and watch it because it's playing at 6 o'clock here.
6 o'clock here
And then,
in Tulsa at the Tulsa Select Hotel.
Little
The
Big
Tulsa
Gravel.
Select Hotel.
So it makes it famous.
Then then we're gonna have a huge party. A huge party, dude.
Hey, Graham, is it cool if we disparage the venue? Is that cool?
No, I love this place.
This is a great hotel. This is
Yeah,
a
the Tulsa
fantastic
Select.
hotel. It
It's-
really
And
is.
you
It's
were
located right off of
the greatest
I-44.
director of all time.
He is. Uwe Boll is wonderful. I watch all of his movies as well.
Yes. I didn't say anything bad about him.
So then we're gonna have a huge party on the 31st in Hollywood, California, at the Lemley Sunset 5 at midnight. And there's going to be a serial killer costume contest.
Just leave that costume conscious. There'll be a serial killer.
Yeah, there's going to be a serial killer there.
That's great.
Like Tony the Tiger with a knife.
That would be awesome.
Actually, I can't remember.
BTK out of jail just for
Odd reference. I can't remember how I got on this mailing list, but it's usually for like doing those things like dress, wear the costume for Tony the Tiger and like shake hands. Yes, buy Kellogg's, whatever. You get like $20 an hour doing that.
You did that?
I've done that, and they just sent me one to be Tony the Tiger at some store as appearance, and I was doing this instead. And I'm like, nah, that's okay.
You should
I'm
have
tired of that.
Should have dressed like Tony the Tiger for the
I
interview.
don't have my own costume, you know.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been disturbing, is what that would have been.
You're great!
You're great! Wait. FearCast Network. It's great!
greatest podcast.
Yes! So what do you got to say? We've been chatting.
Yeah,
Say something.
I'm running away with his interview, so you got to
This is the
tell us
Ford-
about the death of Hollywood.
This is the Ford Austin interview. What are you talking about?
Are you going to go and see the? Oh, I've got a movie starting in 15 minutes called Evil Ever After.
Yeah,
Like right now?
Where Randall Malone gets fucked in the ass by you.
Yes, can we say that on the internet?
Of
Yes,
course.
we can.
Shit.
No.
I
You sure as fuck
I
can
actually
curse on
I
that.
actually
Yes.
rape a 400-pound guy in that movie as a cop. It's like a Mean Streets Harvey Keitel type of thing.
Wow.
Wow.
Everything got real serious again. Huh?
Yeah.
Soon to be a spinoff, hopefully.
Yeah, Cannibal Cop. We're gonna try and make it.
Entire movie
Cop.
about the Cannibal Cop.
But wait a minute, tell us about the death of Hollywood.
Yes, tell us.
Well, this is FearCast, right?
Yes, it is.
So it's not really a horror movie, but
That's okay.
all right. Well, The Death of Hollywood is a movie that I wrote and directed. It's loosely based on a situation that I found myself in, and after I got ripped off by a pretty major film studio, I decided that I was going to write something about it, and so The Death of Hollywood was born, and essentially uses the experience as a springboard, and then the rest of the fiction kind of delves from there. But it's essentially about a disgruntled screenwriter who gets ripped off by a Hollywood producer and set up for a crime he didn't commit, so in turn he kidnaps the producer and switches identities with him and sets out to try to change the face of corporate cinema forever for the better. And it's the stuff that entails, in the process of what happens. So it's been cool. I'm glad that people are responding to it and they're not hating it.
Well, that sounds like with all the kidnapping and the identity switching and everything, that sounds almost like sort of a suspense thriller type situation. So don't feel bad.
You
can be off your
think,
cast.
you would think it's more so comedy because it's very dialogue based, and I used a lot of classic like film noir movies as kind of the major inspiration for the style of the film. So it's essentially a noir that takes place now.
Yeah, that works.
If you could say that, a neo noir, I guess in a sense, but it's more dialogue based than
You
action.
got that voiceover thing going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
starts at the end and goes back to the end of the end. of the movie,
Now,
You nailed it then.
Did you leave in all the oral sex that you had to provide?
I
to that
actually,
studio
I
exec?
actually had to cut that out because it just wasn't testing well. Test
Trying to get
audiences.
PG rating,
Well, I mean, I'm fine with an R, but it seemed that the 7 to 10-year-old crowd just was not very
They weren't
amused.
gonna
They
be
weren't
into
having
it,
it.
yeah.
It's all right.
Plus, you're not going to pull like a Chloe Savini and Brown Bunny, right?
Right. I mean, I should have, but
Well,
they
you
were
don't
just
have to show that footage.
Well, we
Can it be a DVD extra?
We'll just watch it together, guys. Keep that on the down low for me. Don't tell
Oh,
me.
yeah, you didn't hear that, Internet. Forget
You're
it.
watching FearCast.net.
It's great.
Oh, wow. So real quick, if somebody were to try to stalk you on the internet, how would they go about doing that?
Wasn't that why they invented Facebook?
That is, but there are still those regular websites as well.
Monumentalpictures.com and then FordAustinProductions.com. Is
But
that
you
it?
can find me at IMDb. I've actually started using my IMDb page
Really?
to really reach out to people. Like if anybody posts messages there, I respond to them, and
So go on there
I
and tell
Twitter.
them what you hate.
I Twitter through that, and you can see all of my website stuff through my IMDb page.
So it's
Otherwise, yeah, it's
Well, you're the first guy who's ever said they use it. I've always looked at IMDb as if it's like this really great hot rod with a key sitting right in it and a sign saying "Take me" that just people keep walking by.
yeah. My Twitter
I just
status
think it was
is there.
Wikipedia that actually.
Yeah, now that they actually added
Yeah.
that, they're kind of forcing people to be a little bit more social with their careers
Yeah.
because now they actually have a function where people can go take their Facebook or Twitter and link it to the IMDb so people get updates on what the celebrity is doing, which is kind of
Amazing.
interesting.
You know,
It's a good idea.
I also
Yeah.
started a production company with some partners, Cameron Romero, B.J. Hendricks, and John McDonald, called Ferocious Pictures. So we're going to be making a lot of announcements of our up-and-coming projects. We have about 10 projects in development.
And if you find this guy on IMDb, you'll know all about it.
That's right.
true.
Or
You can
ferociouspicom.
stalk him.
And then there's
Cameron-
always your
Cam-
posts on Craigslist.
Cameron Romero
Yes.
is actually George Romero's son.
Yeah, we ran into George at Texas Fright Man.
Yeah, his partner.
So you're working
his
with
partner
Cameron.
is-
Yeah,
is
Cameron of
George's son.
Staunton Hill fame. He
Yeah.
directed
That's
Staunton
amazing.
Hill and The Screening, and I'm getting ready to produce him in a couple of different features for him to direct. One of them is based on a short that we made called The Auctioneers, starring Tom Sizemore, Ezra Buzzington, Darren Dalton from the original Red Dawn. And the original, he's like the guy with the afro. He's the guy with the afro in Red Dawn, remember? And he was also in The Outsiders.
It
So
was filmed here.
yeah, that's right.
And,
In my backyard.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
amazing.
my toilet, really. But
Yeah. Well, also at
My
the big
backyard
thing
is my
that
toilet,
caught
so it's-
fire.
I guess in
Yeah.
Hollywood, you can
Yeah.
cheat any location to
Right.
really look like anything else.
That's
That's
what's
right.
fascinating about the
No
Death of
CGI,
Hollywood.
you're good to go, right?
We didn't shoot any of it in LA. It's like the only thing we shot in LA, because I specifically went around and found locations that I knew would resemble. Because when I was living in LA, I knew exactly what to look for. But you find bus stops and stuff to pull off the idea, and then everything else is done inside. And then we just went to LA for like a week to shoot with Joe Estevez, Martin Sheen's brother, to shoot his part for the movie, and then we just shot all the exteriors.
There you
And
go.
then everybody thinks the movie took place in Hollywood.
Way to cheat.
Yep.
It's probably
Plus,
a lot cheaper that way.
Yeah.
Don't forget to keep an eye out for Dahmer versus Gacy 2D in space.
2D is the only way to go nowadays.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
really
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
2D,
It's the newest.
SD, forget all this HD, 3D stuff. Let's go back to the roots of digital cinema.
I'm just gonna draw it.
Draw
many
it.
times over, and there was a flip book.
Flip
Good to go.
That's it.
flip book cinema.
And then we charge $10 a view.
Yeah.
$10 a flip.
All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah.
Because
Thanks for-
otherwise,
thanks
we're
for
gonna
having us on the
destroy the
show.
internet at this rate.
You already
Um,
did. What are you talking about?
yeah,
I
find
didn't
these
even take
guys,
my
uh,
pants off. I mean, what?
What?
That's in the cut reel. You'll get that
Oh
later.
my goodness.
Could be on the special edition DVD.
Go click on the Amazon link. I'm sure you can find Dahmer versus Gacy there.
Yep, Dahmer versus Gacy, and
Find Death of Hollywood there.
Yeah.
and if you want to see zombie Nazis,
Zombie Nazis.
Track Down a Chance in Hell, directed by Tony Wash. And if you just want to see zombie babies,
Well, there they are right there.
Zombie Babies, we're just wrapping that one up. That's directed by Eamon Hardiman.
I'm so glad that somebody did that.
Zombie Babies.
Muppet Babies, but zombies is what I'm imagining.
Oh, yeah. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Sounds fun.
Dahmer versus Gacy month.
All right. And this is
Thank
Glenn over at
you.
FearCast at FearCast.net.
Thanks
Monsters
for having
Hiding over
us.
there. Thank you for coming
Thanks for
by.
having us on, man.
You guys can cut those cameras off any old time now.
Nah, just leave it.
Oh,
alone.
yeah.
Play with it.
Let's get these pants off. There goes the pants. That's